Thank you very much for joining us this morning on the last edition of the program, The Platform, right here on Flow 94.9 FM. It is the flow of God's own state, and well, this is the pinnacle of all discussions where we take a look at issues. We'll deal with issues here as it affects our dear state, Abia State, and also as it affects our dear nation, Nigeria. Socio-political discussions centering on, of course, achieving positive feats for the progress of our dear nation. This is The Platform, Friday edition. My name is Michael Oni. Now, this morning, we're taking a look at the education sector here in Abia State. How far so far? And of course, we will be taking a look at this particular sector as it affected the reopening of the public schools in Abia State. And it's going to be a two-way conversation this morning. I have with me in the studio the Honorable Commissioner for Education in Abia State, Dr. Kanelechi Nwangwa. I hope I'm correct with your name, Dr. Kanelechi. Thank you very much for the correction. Kanelechi Nwangwa. That's the Honorable Commissioner for Education here in Abia State. It's good to have you join us this morning on the conversation.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's begin with the education sector in Abia State. Can you give an assessment of the education sector that you met on ground? After the governor, Dr. Okezie Victor Ikpeazu, appointed you as the Honorable Commissioner, the man in charge of the education sector in Abia State.
Yeah, Abia has been a doing very good in education, at least for the past 4 years. We've been having the best result in most of the external examinations, and a lot has actually been achieved, but it's something that has to do with everyday life. There's still a lot for us to achieve more, and the private sector, they have been making their contribution. The public schools they've also been making their contribution, but there is also at a point where you discover that there are certain things you think that they are going well, but when you look deeper, you discover that a lot is actually wrong. So when you look around, there are some, areas that we need to do a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that will actually form the basis of our discussion this morning, especially the reopening of public schools in Abia State, and of course the closing down of substandard schools in the state, which people have been tagging it a witch hunt. We want you to clarify that, the closing down of substandard schools, and which of the schools have been timed substandard in the interest of the government.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yes. Education is the future of every nation and every people. Anytime that people start throwing education to the background, looking at education as an all-comers affair, looking at education as something that anybody anywhere can do, can render and offer, then something is certainly very wrong. We were getting very close to that situation where everybody was now thinking that education is everybody's business. Whatever, anybody that has every little space automatically becomes a school proprietor. And when they start these schools, the owner of the school doesn't even care about education, doesn't care about who comes to provide the education and what is given to the people that pay for this education. All they want is their money. They want to employ people to teach. They say, look, as far as this place is concerned, nobody should fail.
Okay.
You must make sure that every child will pass so that more people will come. I'm not interested. Whatever you can do, make sure that the children will pass. That's all I want from you. So that even if the teacher goes there, the person that is there, that they could take anybody, maybe sometimes school start, or even some of them less than that. They ask them to go and teach. And nobody can give more than what the person has. You send people that don't have anything, you want them to go and groom people. They go in there and somebody will go there and then be teaching the children 1, 2, 3. And you see your children that are at home, you have taught them 1, 2, 3, they are used to this, and they're coming back from school to argue with you that it is not 1, 2, 3, it is 1, 2, 3. That tells you that something is in fact, something is tragically wrong. And then you discover a situation where you do some minor additions. The children will be taught the wrong additions. When you want to correct them about those, you start arguing with them because something wrong is already inside them. These are highly impressionable minds. And so we looked at it and discovered that even up to the health of the people, somebody that is running a poultry will use one part of his poultry for birds and the other part of the poultry for human beings. People will get their flats in a particular building, you can find 3-4 schools. What kind of thing is that? The whole thing is reduced to a situation where people now think that, look, if at the end of the day you're able to write things on the board for children to copy and they copy it, and after copying it they pass, you are doing very well because more people will come. We have looked at all this and said, no, we cannot run this system like this. The governor of Abia State is a man that is after standard and quality of education. And we cannot come here to, do otherwise, but to make sure that vision of the governor, Dr. Kezi Ikpeazu, we have to make sure that the vision is a vision that is carried along. And so we need to do some things. And one of them will be to start removing these bad ones, these schools that are not right. Because we have a minimum standard for the establishment of schools.
Okay, what are the minimum standards for the establishment of schools in Abia State? I think we should break it down to have an idea of where we're headed to now, especially as education is concerned in Abia State.
The number one criteria is that you must have a school compound. You must have a school site that will be, conducive for learning, for children to develop in both the affective, the cognitive, and the psychomotor. The children not just only learning the classroom activities, be able to learn behavior manners. Like every morning when the children come, they should line up outside, then do the morning devotion, do the marching and all that. Good. That's still part of the education. But right now all those things are off. All that they do is the children stay there. All the highest they can do is run around their classroom because there is no space. We cannot, that is not education. We're talking about holistic education. Holistic education that is going to take care of the cognitive, take care of the affective, take care of the psychomotor, so that when you say that somebody is educated, that person is educated, and you can discover talents, you see abilities, because these children, they are so restricted that you can't even see any best in them. No sports, no play, no handicraft, all those things are out. We want to bring them back because that's how it was when we went to school. I went to a public school.
Okay, so it's been said in some quarters that it is a clampdown on private schools in Abia State. It's a witch hunt, so to say, in some quarters. I don't know how you want to respond to that, Honorable Commissioner.
Yeah, people will only say that if they are naive. Because I'm saying naive because there are so many very good private schools that are doing extremely very well. The NAPS, it's an association that is recognized by the Federal Ministry of Education, also recognized by us. So NAPS is existing. There are many very good private schools that are doing well, and those private schools are operating. We're only saying, let the good ones operate. Then the bad ones should give way, so that you don't give a bad name to an organization that is doing very well. So that's exactly what has happened. The private schools are all there. We are supporting them. We are working with them, but we are saying that the bad ones shouldn't be there.
All right, it is the platform this morning, Friday edition, right here on Flow 94.9 FM, and I do have with me Honorable Commissioner for Education, Dr. Kanelechi. Am I correct? Kanelechi. I'm going to get that the next time I pronounce your name correctly. Kanelechi Nwangwa, Honorable Commissioner for Education in Abia State. And we're talking about the education sector in Abia State. Lots of steps being taken by the government to reform that sector. And of course, the government shutting down substandard private schools. A lot of controversies have come up on that particular, the thing being done by the government. And of course, the Honorable Commissioner is clarifying issues as it concerns that. And of course, it's going to be a two-way conversation this morning. Samson is somewhere in town to speak with the, representative of the private schools in Abia State. Well, Honorable Commissioner, now let's go back to public schools. Some of the public schools in Abia State are not in the best position to learn. They're not in good shape, if I may put it that way. And the government came up and said, well, we are starting renovation, enforcement, and this will lead to reopening of the schools on the 20th of January 2020. That's Monday next week. What has been done so far in terms of the renovation?
Yeah, in the first place, the schools were okay, but you see, because so many of them have stayed long, and some of them, the number of students got down, and then the maintenance was no longer there. So government is right now renovating, rehabilitating many of the schools. Some of them completed, some we have been working hard to make sure that by Monday, most of these things should be ready for these students to go back to school. As a matter of fact, we are not playing about this. Even when you talk about the public school, some of the classrooms, but you see the school environment is still there. Okay. And this school environment thing is very, very important. So all public schools have the right school environment. Some of the infrastructure there, some of the things we are doing something to make sure that we put them right. But not that they were not right before. They were right. We're only we are just renovating and then updating them.
Okay. I'm still expecting the connection from Samson. Let's talk about, there is this presumed strike. I cannot confirm because I tried getting across to the NUT chairman in Abia State, and he said that, he's going to get back to me, but he's yet to get back to me. So I don't know. Are the teachers on strike in Abia State?
To the best of my knowledge, the teachers are not on strike. We don't have any letter. We don't have any communication from them to that effect. So, but people, you see, you keep hearing people, rumor and all that. It's there. People are free. It's a free society. People will say what they, but we don't have any official information to that effect. Yes.
All right. It's a two-way show. And of course, I'm still expecting the connection from Samson Eze. Anyways, you mentioned that no strike in Abia State. And the private schools resumption has been postponed, I think, twice now. What led to that decision, Honorable Commissioner?
Yeah, when we asked people to close so that we will get the bad ones down, and then parents will transfer their children from the substandard and take them to the standard and approved ones. So some people were still talking about the time is short. So based on some of the renovation work we are doing, we said, okay, let's give you 1 more week so you can make up your mind and complete this process of change. And we are believing that by now, anybody that has not completed that process will no longer blame us. So we are certainly going to reopen on Monday.
Okay. Yeah. So there is no going back, according to the Honorable Commissioner. Public schools in Abia State will reopen on Monday. And I believe it's going to be in a very conducive environment for the pupils.
Certainly, and of course, certainly.
Now, Honorable Commissioner, let's talk about the teachers' welfare. Yeah. I understand that there are shortfalls in the welfare of the teachers, secondary school teachers, and what are the things put in place to ensure that the welfare of the teachers are in top notch?
Yeah, we came on board, we sat down, looked at the way things were, and we started paying the salaries. But the areas we are sitting down to work out how to, clear the area. But right now, the salaries are paid as at when due and will continue to be paid.
Okay.
Yes.
What about the areas when?
That's what I'm saying. We'll sit down and then work out how to pay the areas. The areas will certainly be paid, but we'll work it out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it is still a wonderful conversation I've had so far. I'm expecting the connection from Samson Eze so that we can have a balanced conversation this morning on the program. I have the Honorable Commissioner here with me in the studio, the platform Friday edition right here on Flow 94.9 FM. Now, let's throw the lines open. Constructive questions you want to ask the Honorable Commissioner as it concerns the education sector in Abia State. As soon as we get across to Samson, we will also pull through. And of course, let's have the balanced conversation this morning. 0808 182 6949. Okay, I think I have Samson now. Hello, good morning to you, Samson.
Good morning to you.
Okay. Samson.
Yes, sir. Good morning to the Honorable Commissioner.
Good morning.
We were talking about the new directive by the state government concerning schools, private schools, public schools, and in order to make education better for the people of ours. But I'm here with the representative of private school operators in Nigeria. It's actually the National Secretary. Good morning to you. Former National Secretary of Private School Proprietors Association of Nigeria. Good morning to you, Mr. Enyi Habo. Good morning. Thank you for having me on the program. All right, straight up. How did you see the new directive by the state government concerning operation of private schools in Abia State?
That's a situation that has beleaguered state and the nation at large. I think this is the right time to put the foot down and get things well sorted out. The Honorable Commissioner had consulted the Association of Private School Proprietors early after his appointment as the Commissioner, and these issues were x-rayed, and he expressed his disappointment at the level that the sector had gotten down to. Everybody agrees with him that yes, things have gone wrong. Unfortunately, this thing didn't start this year. Over the years, the ministry also had watched helplessly as things went down the drain, and there's never a better time to start than now. And we're only asking that minimum standards that the ministry wants to enforce be really made known to everybody, and that people will comply. This is a sector where people just come and start school without even going to the ministry to go and seek approval. And so when they start, after starting, they will now call ministry if they feel that they have something to offer. It doesn't happen like that in other places. You cannot start a hospital without going to government first to seek approval, even for the location of that hospital. You can't even start a chemist without approaching the relevant authorities to seek approval. But here, people will get a bedroom flat and they will start and they will call the government to come for inspection. Yeah. And the ministry we have cried out to them in the past to do what is right. The ministry has a blame for what is happening, but it's their responsibility to also correct it and let them correct it. We will support them, but we will also protect our members that are genuinely doing what is right. And I believe that there will be a difference, and the Commissioner knows that there's a difference between those who are doing the right thing and people who are just coming to latch in because maybe there is no other thing to do within the economy.
Okay, Mazi Habo, what is considered a substandard school? I know you run some schools in this town. What is considered substandard in terms of a private school arrangement?
The Ministry of Education has a booklet that specifies the minimum standards that someone has to have before you can start a school, without you operate a school. And it's stated there, it's not a secret document, is it? And so anyone who wants to run knows what the thing is. Nobody will come and start a school in a market. Nobody will come and start a school in a shopping complex. Nobody will come and start a school in a one-bedroom flat or even a three-bedroom flat in World Bank. Where will you have the space? How will you grow? How will you expand? Unfortunately, many people don't even think about the future. So when you start in a flat, at the end of the day, when the school begins to grow, the place becomes too small, and then what will you do?
So what is your association doing to check all these things before it got out of hand?
Our association is not a regulatory organization. The Ministry of Education has the regulatory powers, statutory powers, to regulate the operation of private schools.
Are there things that you would want the state government to do to enhance the operation of private schools and to compete favorably?
Definitely. After this exercise, there will be a separation. And then after that, the government will begin to see how they can assist. Because the government alone cannot cater for the number of children that are in schools. And no matter let me tell you, Abia State has not, we don't have the capacity, the government does not have the capacity in number of schools that are on ground today owned by government to cater for the number of children that are in schools. And so the private sector has a big role to play. But this sector that has come in to help should be encouraged. The sectors is being overtaxed. We have complained severally. Over 10 years we've been crying out multiple taxation and all the levies using talks to harass schools and all those things. These things need to stop so that we can have a sane environment. We have had cases where thugs come into schools, where children are, and even policemen coming with guns into schools to come and harass because of taxes. Nobody takes a gun into a school premises. It's not heard of in any part of the world. And I'm happy that right now those things have, notice when we have put our foot down and they have stopped that. But there's a lot the government can do. If we have children in public schools and we have children in private schools, they are all Abia citizens and they deserve equal rights and everything that government has to do. So I don't see the reason why if government is doing training for public school teachers, they will ask private school teachers to pay for the same training. I don't see the reason why you will share the curriculum to the public schools and ask the private schools to buy.
But you're running a private business.
I'm running a social service.
But they're paying fees.
The public schools are also being funded by taxes, being paid by me and the parents of the children.
The money you collect from school fees goes to your pocket.
The money I collect from the schools is used to provide employment and to provide services. It doesn't just go to my pocket. I am providing a social service that is complementing what government is doing. And so nobody's doing me a favor by allowing me to. I'm helping the government. Government should appreciate me. Listen, if you have curriculum, it is for everybody to use. Some people shouldn't buy it, and other people get it free of charge. I'm not talking about even if you children are paying school fees, they are your children. Something you are a tax-paying citizen of Abia, and if you decide to put your children in a private school, it does not deny your children whatever budget the government has made for children in Abia State. If that is done, it is you, Samson, and your children that are being marginalized and being denied their rights.
But let's talk about the personnel here and some of the things that have to do with your operation. What is the minimum requirement that you adopt in terms of employment in your own school?
The minimum requirement for teachers, the minimum requirement I adopt in my school is what the government prescribes. Okay. So that is NCE, Bachelor of Education or above. That is it. And the teacher must be registered with the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria. And that's the minimum standard. And that's what we are implementing, not just in my school, but majority of the private schools in Abia State are doing that. Why should we not use that? There are a lot of graduate teachers looking for employment, and we are providing that. Something today, the private sector in Abia State is employing about 50,000 graduate skilled teachers. 50,000. Look at that. Okay. Michael,
yes, Samson.
I don't know whether you have any question for any Harbour here, or the commissioner will respond to some of this just before we drop the anchor.
I would like the commissioner to respond if I could hear you clearly, and of course what Mr. Enyi Harbour said, the issue of multiple taxation and the buying of curriculum by the private schools, and of course the employment too in the private schools. Some of the issues I have been able to pen down here. Honorable Commissioner Dr. Kanelechi Nwangwa is very much here with me, the Honorable Commissioner for Education. I would like you to respond to some of those things, some of those issues raised by Mr. Enyi Harbour there. The issue of multiple taxation.
I want to say that, while listening to the NAPS rep, Enyi Harbour, we are saying this something. We met, we discussed these things, and you see that we are presenting the same front. The issue of multiple taxation, we already say we're going to look at it, and we are already looking at it. We'll work things out properly, because they are rendering good service. They are assisting us very well, and for the good, that's why I want to remove the bad ones, so that nobody calls a bad name. The good ones are doing good job, and these bad ones, which are the people that are just coming in from nowhere, are the ones we want to send out, so that we can standardize. And by the standardization, we see the curriculum and everything. Seminar, workshop, we will give it to everybody, both those in the private and public, because the Abia child is the center, is our focus here. So we're going to be doing most of these things together. I already told them that we discussed them, and we will continue to make sure that that is done. Even the central promotion exam, we're going to do it together.
So there is a synergy between the Minister of Education and the private schools.
All the schools,
in Abia State.
all the schools, both public and private, because we run all of them. We license the private schools, so they are also under us.
So some of these substandard schools, have they been shut down?
Oh, sure, many of them, yes. And
Many
you know,
of them.
even some of them, right now we are compiling. You know, we wanted to give them the opportunity to do the right thing. There are some of them that are waiting for the hammer. From any time from next week, we'll start listing out, calling out the names and locations of these schools, because you see, we don't want to use touts, so that people, just like what the NAPS man said now, so that people don't go into harassment.
It's not proper to use touts anyways.
So that's why we are being civil about it. But we'll start announcing the names of these schools over and over, so that people will know that the children are not supposed to be there. That last week, 2 days ago, I was in one of the schools. I saw some of the children there. I just gathered all of them and I was talking to them. Look, tell mommy and daddy to send you to another school. This is not a good school. This school is not recognized. And I was talking to those children. You don't need to go and start driving the children away, scaring them away. No, they are children. They are not victims. So we need to talk to them and make sure that the process they will understand, and then move from the bad ones and go to the good ones. Because when they go to the children don't know which one is bad, which one is good. We have to help them to know which ones are good and which ones are
the issue of buying of curriculum by the private schools.
I just say that we're going to work this thing out.
It's given to the public schools, and the private schools, they do buy it. It looks like the NAPS representative is not so happy about that development.
Yeah, there are so many other things that they shouldn't be very happy about. So we're going to work them out in a manner that we will take care of everybody, because we're interested in the service we are rendering.
All right, Samson.
Okay. Michael, I think
Yes.
Kenny has something to...
Oh, okay, quickly before we open the lines.
Yes, Michael, the Honorable Commissioner is very, very right. We have been talking about these things,
Okay.
and he has made very strong commitments, which gladdens my heart. I believe that we have a good future coming up from now on. I think that he also needs a strong backing from the private sector, so that we can have things done well. We haven't had it this good before, and we look forward that things will get better. One of the areas that is also a problem to us, which we will have to look into seriously, is the issue of examination malpractice.
Okay.
Especially in the external examinations, WAEC and NECO, and the transfer of students jumping from school, leaving school at SS2 to go and enroll for lesson centers in special centers in the state and outside the state. We will have to sit down and work out how we can stop this. This is not the problem of government, it's parents that are causing this problem. Because the truth is that most of the parents that gained or were products of EXPO in the 80s and the 70s have become parents now. And they can only do what they know. But we must ensure that this does not continue to give Abia a bad name. Abia has been coming first in WAEC and NECO. So we must ensure that Abia is not listed amongst the states where examination malpractice is prevalent. And the Commissioner has also expressed strong desires to make sure that this does not continue. We will support him with that and make sure that we clean up the name of Abia, so that when we are first in the good and not in the bad. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much,
Michael,
Mazi.
we are happy for the collaboration. Maybe the Commissioner would equally address issues, because right now we are saying we want to make the public schools attractive as well. You should talk about the personnel, teachers' welfare as well, because somebody has to be there to teach. So how much of motivation is the state government doing in that direction?
Yeah, the teacher motivation is a very important factor, and if we want to achieve what we want to do, we're going to do that. And that is why, when we came, we worked, and right now you can see the payment of salary is becoming regular and will continue to get better. The areas we're going to discuss. So, and I've had meeting with principals, and we will have more meetings even as we continue. Then we will have workshops so that we will talk to ourselves and know that we are actually ready to support, not only to ask the teachers to work, but at the same time to help the teachers to work. So we pay them their salary, we give them the honor that is due them, so that we restore the place of the teacher, the principals, the head teachers, and give them the pride of place that they deserve. And of course, you know that one of the things we have to do, the issue is students cannot just come to school at their will, do things the way they want. No. We're going to bring back discipline in schools so that people will know that the school is not a place where you come to behave or do as you like. People will come down to start behaving, because since we started allowing them to behave as so many things have gone wrong. So we will take care of teacher motivation. We are at the same time going to take care of student behavior. And that is why it is not only cognitive. We will look at the affective and psychomotor. Sports, school sports already. We, in conjunction with the collaboration with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, we're going to start school sports from March. And so that is also good to...
It was even said by someone that schools without 100 meters fields were shut down during the clampdown on the substandard schools in Abia State.
They don't even, those ones we shut don't even have any at all, not to talk of any measurement.
Okay.
So we're going to bring in school sports so that the students will practice. Not only they will study, they will practice, they will learn how to behave. So that when you see a student, you see a difference. In when we went to school, it was fashionable to recognize people that are in secondary school because of the way they dress. You see them dressing very decently. But today, the reverse is the case. So we're going to reverse it again back to what it was.
All right, the conversation is not complete without your opinion. Of course, let's make it a complete cycle this morning. We've heard from Samson, who is still very much there. If time will permit, I will reconnect with him. And of course, you've heard from the Honorable Commissioner. Samson spoke with the NAP's representative in charge of the private schools, Mazi Enyihabo there. And also, I have with me the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Dr. Kanelechi Nwangwa. I really love the fact that I am now able to pronounce your name very well,
That's
Honorable
good.
Commissioner.
That's
now
good.
let's head straight to the phone lines this morning. 0808-182-6949, 0811-605-2949. You can also drop messages on 0906-510-8289. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Ibeje from Isukwapa.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Good. We know that the foundation of education is in the primary school, and majority of our primary school is in the rural area. Most of the primary schools in the rural area are being run by tax. And the teachers are almost equal to the students, to our people in education. Please, Honorable Commissioner, focus on the primary school in these rural areas if you want to get it right. There are a lot of tax teachers in the villages. Please, if
All
you
right.
want to do this right, go to the rural area and set things right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. You want to respond to that, Honorable Commissioner?
Yes, certainly. What we are doing it for the whole of Abia. In fact, there's no school in Abia that will be unreachable. We
Okay.
will reach everywhere.
All
We
right.
are determined to do that. And I know that by the time we run to the end of this year, hold me accountable if you don't see us doing that. Because I'm not just talking about it, we're going to do it. We are doing it.
Okay. Welcome to the conversation. What's your name?
Michael, I'm the Vokoda calling from Umuamwa in Umuaya South.
You're welcome.
Honorable Commissioner of Education, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, I really appreciate what we are doing in Abia State to bring sanity in the education sector. Please, I have only one question for you,
Yeah.
which is very, very important. What effort are you doing to stop, this education examination center private
democratic
specialization center.
Miracle centers.
Yes, miracle center. That is the question I have for you to give me the correct answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
The miracle centers we don't have miracles in education. Education is where you do rational thinking, where you do studies, where you do things. It's not miracle. Miracle is in the religious realm, where people expect some things to fall from the moon. So when you talk about the miracle center, they have no place in our educational system, and we will make sure that they have no place.
Okay, let's get your opinion, more opinions this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Michael.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Honorable Commissioner.
Good morning.
Yeah, I am Mr. Robsmai from Oduma here.
All right, welcome.
This issue of education in Abia State, I can say that is good, both private and government. I went to government school throughout my primary school. Like the way our teachers used to do in school, in our government school, is no good. Like when it comes to teaching, some of our teachers are very, very lazy. That if you come to a point that they will give students notes to write in school, what they're supposed to do as their duty, receiving salary every month. Instead of them to do their work, they will leave everything for the students to do all those things. Then, as for our private school, our mothers are choosing so many of them to go to private school because there are some quality of education that private school teach that government school instead that didn't do it half. Okay, now if you come to payment of government, our teachers there they will be working and they will be paying them every month. They will be complaining. Then from there they will plan to go to strike.
All right, quickly wrap up your thoughts,
all
please.
All these things are going on. Then let our government should make sure that they will do something to improve, including all these miracle centers that they are talking about. Yes, our government should do something and close that thing because so many our students that are not qualified to go to university because of that way they go out from the school and go to miracle center.
All right.
Our government even how to change some things, especially in our education and all those schools that start one room. I think when I was in village about 2005,
your time is up, please.
I was in 2001 room.
Okay.
Our government should close all those schools and make sure that they will do something about education. Our education will improve.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Michael.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Commissioner for Education.
Good morning.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to commend the Abia State government and the Minister of Education in this situation to calm down some of the black primary and secondary school. I mean, private schools in Abia State. So I don't know whether you have even come to my house. If you have come to that place, you see the proliferation of a private school. And I tell you, God knows that the highest qualified teacher in those schools is a person that has a school secondary certificate. And some of them do not pass even the good subject is supposed to that will guarantee them to teach in the private school. Some of them are primary schools. You have to come to that place and see what is happening. And the spaces and the school premises. So if you come, you will lament. No place for the children even to breathe out, even to visit the center or go to toilet. You have to come and see. Even this time that we had that the schools have been closed down, yet nothing has really changed in this place. So I want you to send your team to come to this place, and go around and see how children are suffering in those areas. And then number two, I like the time given for closure of schools. You see children staying in school 4 o'clock, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. in school in the name of lesson. What type of lesson that the teacher cannot even give pupils or students homework to go and do? Rather to keep them so that they will be paying 2,000 naira every time for lessons. All these things are the things that I wanted to do.
All right. Quickly, your time is up. Your time is up.
Some of the school teachers have not been paid for a long time. Is it true or false?
All right.
Thank you very much. I'm Chinenye. My name is Chinenye Pamugo, calling from Abuke Sulu.
You're welcome. Okay, Honorable Commissioner.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, Mr. Chinenye. We are happy. We will be there. In fact, we are going to many places. Since Monday, we have gone to many places. we will come to Mahia South, we'll come to every other part of Abia State. And one thing that is important is that we are talking about this standard. Even the Miracle Center you are talking about, the central promotion system that we are going to run will solve this problem. Even the issue of people going from SS2 to right way, all those things we capture because
central promotion system.
Yeah.
Okay. Just break it down in a minute. Sir.
Now, the central promotion examination system is that we're going to have one exam for every private and public school at the end of every year. All of them will write the same exam. So if you fail in a school in Ohafia, you have failed in a school in Ohambele, in Okwa. Anywhere, if you fail in Montessori or you have failed in grammar, any of the schools. So that if you pass, you have passed. If you fail, you have failed. And you have to read. We will move teachers to different schools to supervise this exam. And we're going to have a central database where the name of everybody who passed and who failed will be there. So that if you move from one school and go to another one, if you failed in school A and you go to school Z to go to a new class, the moment they put you in that school, we're going to dictate it from the system.
Okay.
So that there's nothing like if you pass, you have passed, if you fail, you have failed. So by the time we do that, those schools that are playing will now see that there's no need to play. Those students that are not reading will now see that there's no need to play, because it is either you're reading and you're able to write the exam before you can pass. And if you don't, no mass promotion.
Okay. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Commissioner for Education.
Good morning.
I remember Mr. Prince Lusuago, coming here from Chinobo local government area.
Welcome.
My commissioner, what Abia State Minister of Education is doing is the right thing. Even in my state, in Imo State, they have done it long ago. I believe you ought to have done that before now. The standardization of private institutions, the white one, is just to make education better in Abia State. But there's a question for you, my commissioner.
Yeah.
Because I believe that what is good for the source, what is good for the gender is equally good for the source. Why am I saying this? Believe you me, in private institutions, they are having more disciplined pupils and teachers. Here in our public schools, please, I would like you to use their good offices to ensure that the behavior of our students, most importantly their dressing, most of them have formed cabals, what we call secret course in the schools, and they use it to intimidate teachers in public schools. Please, if all these things are they look into, believe you me, that will be a very big move in education. So look at that.
All right.
Look at my position. That's my team. May God bless you, sir.
Thank you for your take. This the issue of social vices in the schools, secondary schools to be precise. And also, the last caller asked two questions. One on the standardization, and of course you answered with a central examination that will come up, and also of course the secondary school teachers too, that he asked the question about. Honorable Commissioner.
Yeah, the issue of discipline. You cannot have real education without discipline. Discipline is important. That's why we talk about both the cognitive, we talk about the affect, we talk about the psychomotor, all areas, including your behavior, your attitude, the things you do, the things you say, and how you carry yourself. We are going to take note of all of that. Children come to school at the time they're like, no. That's why we must close by 2, so that those who come to school late will do manual labor after school. Every day, you cannot escape it. So you either come to school early or you stay late and do manual labor. The issue of saying you haven't lesson or not, the children need to play. All academic, they need to also play. They need to have recess. They need to refresh. They need to
like they say, all work no play.
Fine. So it is not only class. Look at in primary school, child will stay in school till 5, and then you give the person homework. When would the child do the homework? Parents end up doing the homework for them. So they need to be given time to play, to do the assignment, to prepare for the next day. And then it is no longer a business where you put your hand in your pocket by 10 o'clock, you say you're going to school. When you get to school for that day, you have to stay, do two hours manual labor before you can go. And by the time we do that, there are a number of times. Of course, parents should understand, because we go through a lot of enlightenment. Parents should know that the children need to be disciplined so that they can get good education and be good citizens.
Okay. The other issue of welfare too. That's the last caller mentioned.
The welfare of teachers.
Welfare
That's
of
what we've talked about that. We have
Yeah.
talked about the welfare. We're certainly going to do a lot about teacher motivation so that we can to have an impact on their output.
All right, let's get you more opinions right this morning on the program. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
I'm greeting out here the Commissioner for Education. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
My contribution is this.
What's your name, please? Okay, your name.
The case coming from Afudi. Thank
Okay,
you.
welcome.
Yeah, I want to tell the Commissioner that person 6 is not person 7. I thank you for the effort he's putting for the education. But the problem is this. The teachers' welfare. You can't take care of teachers' welfare. There is nothing can move in this state. After owing teachers 3 months, 7 months, 8 months, they can't perform anything. That's what I want to tell the Commissioner. Let them take care of the teachers, please. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
That's a suggestion
Yeah.
for your Honorable Commissioner. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Honorable Commissioner for Education.
Good morning.
Yeah. I am Honorable Chris Nwogu, and I'm flowing from Umuchima, Umuchisi, local government area of Imo State.
You're welcome, Honorable.
Thank you, Commissioner. Please, my take is this. Commissioner, I want you to encourage our schools, both secondary and primary schools, to engage in sports. In those days when we were in schools, we used to engage in sports competition, both primary and secondary schools. And that keeps us busy. And in fact, it makes way for the authorities to fish out talent, right from primary to secondary school. But today, I don't see them taking sports serious in the schools. And another thing is mood of dressing, even though it has been discussed here. Our students should know how to dress. As a student, you don't dress up and fly your clothes. You need to, dress fine, tuck in your shirt, and wear what is in conformity with the uniform and the school system you belong to. Today you see students flying their dress when going to school. Some will wear shoes or canvas that does not tally with the uniform. And yet the teachers will see them and they will not do anything.
All right,
so there has to
Honorable.
be seriousness in our teachers too. So that's what I want to contribute.
All right, thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
On the SMS line, Zion says, good morning, Honorable Commissioner for Education. I commend the state government for the sanitization in Abia schools now. Please ensure to motivate and encourage the teachers, mostly the newly employed teachers. Together we will bring back the lost glory of our school system. I'm happy that morality is back in our schools. That's from Zion.
Thank you.
All right, Honorable Commissioner, please do something about private schools keeping the children from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. He mentioned it, and loaded with homework. He mentioned it. On holidays, the children do not have rest in the name of going to classes for classes till school resumption. Very bad. That has to be stopped. Prince from Umuahia. Honorable Commissioner, I want to really appreciate your effort and, of course, for coming up this morning on the program. And we hope to have you too. It's your first time in the studios of Flow 94.9 FM. We hope to have you some other time also to talk about issues as it concerns education here in Abia State.
Thank you very much. Abia State education must be restored. We must redeem it, and we must bring back the good old days. Thank you. It's a work for all of us.
All right, that's Dr. Kanelechi Nwangwa, the Honorable Commissioner for Education. I want to thank Samson too for holding down the other side of the conversation. It was a two-way show this morning. He had Mazi Enyehabo on the other side, speaking for the private schools in Abia State too. Thank you very much. Many thanks to the producer of the program too, Samson Eze. The program returns on Monday when we bring up another issue as it affects their state, Abia State, and also as it affects their nation, Nigeria. My name is Michael Oni. Have a wonderful weekend.